This is KLFY News 10, on the air and streaming live right now.
Hello, Acadiana. I'm Darla Montgomery.
And I'm Blue Rolfes. Thanks for joining us. The investigation continues in the March death of a New Iberia man. 22-year-old Victor White III died from a gunshot while in the back seat of an Iberia Parish deputy's vehicle. The initial investigation said White, who was handcuffed, shot himself in the back.
But a newly released autopsy report ruled White's gunshot wound was in his chest. His family doesn't understand why there are such conflicting reports. News 10's Caroline Balchunas has the story.
My son didn't shoot himself. I never believed it. I won't believe it.
The father of 22-year-old Victor White III is still in disbelief. Back in March, White died from a gunshot wound. It happened while handcuffed in the backseat of a patrol car during a drug arrest. According to state police, once at the jail, White refused to exit the vehicle. As the deputy requested assistance, they say White produced a handgun he had been hiding in his pants and shot himself in the back. But the autopsy reports the opposite, listing the cause of death as a gunshot wound to the chest. The family is puzzled as to how he could have shot himself in the chest with his hands cuffed behind his back.
Initial response was correct, that there was something that went awry, something that was wrong. And
the manner of death is ruled a suicide, but Victor White Sr. isn't convinced, saying his son, who they call Vic, had a zest for life. State police cannot comment, saying it's an ongoing investigation and they're still collecting evidence. White Sr. says authorities aren't even talking to the family, leaving them without closure.
Here's a family that were still grieving. I'm angry that the autopsy report took so long. I'm angry and frustrated because of the fact that it's still not over.
Caroline Balchunas, KLFY News 10.
Because the incident involved an Iberia Parish Sheriff's deputy, Sheriff Louis Ackle requested state police take over the investigation, and the family has hired an attorney.
Yo, what up, niggas? And once again, we have the cops in the news doing some fucked up shit. Now, this was old. This apparently happened back in the beginning of the year. Let me read some of this article, then I'm going to go in real quick on my opinion. The release of an autopsy report in Louisiana is raising new questions about the unusual shooting death of a 22-year-old black male who died earlier this year in a police car while his hands were cuffed behind his back. That's a police story. RT reported earlier this year that police in Iberia Parish, Louisiana, said Victor White III died in early March after he fatally shot himself while handcuffed in the back of a squad car. White had reportedly been apprehended for possession of drugs and was searched no fewer than 2 times before being cuffed and placed in the back seat of a police vehicle. According to the police report from the time, White uncovered a gun while in the car and shot himself in the back. I don't even know where to begin on this one. I mean, come on. That story is obviously just extremely bogus. And I don't mean just a little bit, I mean terribly. Sorry guys, just terribly bogus. I mean, I'm thinking the police officers did not have like a good amount of time to, make up a story. Obviously, because this one is just the worst I've ever heard. He shot himself in the back while handcuffed after they searched him 2 or more times. He pulls out a gun while handcuffed. Just think about it. He's handcuffed, right? So if he puts his hands behind his back, that means he's cuffed. And he's still cuffed. Wouldn't he have to get the gun from like a limited area? Like, I don't know, his belt, like the back of his belt or his back pocket? Like, you can't really go up front. You like can't go in your sock or nothing like that. So it's very strange because they said while he was cuffed, because if he broke the cuffs and shot himself, I think they would mention it, that he broke the cuffs. But they said they did it while he was cuffed. So something sounds very wrong. Maybe the cops left the gun in the backseat. Maybe that could be one of the stories, but it sounds very wrong. Let me read on a little bit more because maybe I'm missing something. According to the coroner's report just recently obtained by NBC News, however, White died from a gunshot wound that entered his body in the chest. That means this way going out the back, in the chest. Nevertheless, Dr. Carl Ditch wrote in the report that White was capable of firing the shot while cuffed due to his body habitus. and has agreed to rule the death a suicide due to his body habitus. Hold on. Let me look up the word habitus. I am not an expert on this word habitus, but wow. Let me see this. Habitus. Okay. So habitus is motherfucking refers to lifestyle, values, deposition, and acceptance of particular social groups that are acquired through the activities and experience. What? Social groups? Oh, no. Hold on. Body habitus. Okay. The physique or body build. Oh, the way he was built, he was able to do it because he seems like a skinny guy. Okay. Let me read on. Not saying I believe it, but let me read on. Hannah Rapoli, whatever the fuck, a reporter for NBC, compared the coroner's story with the official police report from March in an article published by the outlet this week. This is the last quote by somebody. White was shot in the front, not the back. The bullet entered his right chest, and exited under his left armpit. Under the left armpit. Okay, I see. While White was left-handed, according to family members. According to the report, the forensic pathologist found gunshot residue in the wound, but not the sort of, what the fuck? Not the sort of stippling that a close-range shot can sometimes produce. He also found abrasions on White's face, she wrote. And yet, despite the contradictions, and even though White's hands were never tested for gunpowder residue, the Iberia Parish coroner still supported the central contention of the initial police statement issued back in March. This is very fucking strange. They said the guy shot himself in the back. Now they found out it's through the chest. It went right side of the chest through his left armpit. Wouldn't that how the cop? Like, let's say the guy's he's in the back seat, right? He's sitting in the back seat. Let's say the cop's to the right of him. If a cop's fighting with him or something, and the cop shoots him, how would it most likely go if the cop's to his right side? The bullet would enter the right, go a little bit towards the back because the cop's going to have his arm bent, facing the guy. So remember, the cop's to his right side. The gun is facing him, so it's going to be pointed at him, but at an angle that points towards his left armpit. Am I tripping? Or am I making sense here? You know what I mean? Because if he's right there wrestling, he pulls back, he's aiming, that's how he's going to get shot. You know what I mean? If he's handcuffed and he puts his hands in front of him and he shoots himself with a gun that came out of nowhere, you know, it's just very strange, man. I'm telling you, cameras on cops. What I tell you guys, hashtag cameras on cops. I'm going to keep making these cop videos, and I'm going to keep saying it. Hashtag cameras on cops. I don't know how many times I got to say it, because until we get it, these ridiculous stories and two-sided things are going to just keep happening. It's one of the most important things we need right now in America. Is cameras on fucking cops, because they keep killing people, and everyone's making up different stories, and they just keep arguing and fighting. We're never really going to find out what really happened. You know what I mean? The cameras on cops, people. And this is fucked up. This dude was only 22 years old. Now, I'm not even going to bother to ask about his history and all that bullshit, because dude was cuffed. He was arrested. He was in the back seat of the car, searched. You know, and I think a lot of people out there, I mean, people always say things like racism's still alive. Of course it's still alive. It's not going anywhere. If you think it's going anywhere, you're stupid. Only way racism could go away a lot, but not all. It'll never go away all. Because there'll be a day where all the same skin color, but green-eyed people are going to start, green and blue-eyed people are going to have a problem with brown-eyed people. Then there's no more brown eyes, only green-eyed and blue-eyed. They're going to be mad at each other. Trust me, it's human nature. Racism ain't going nowhere. It's not. But anyway, not even saying that racism has much to do with it, but for some reason it seems a lot of people don't give a shit when a black life is lost. It just doesn't mean that much, and I'm starting to see it. Because this is just crazy. It's like you hear the story, some people hear the story, find out he's black, it's like, oh, okay, he was probably a gang member, he was probably a drug dealer, let's look at his history, he probably had it coming. That's how a lot of people feel. I don't know if it's just blatant racism because they don't like black people because they're black, or racism because they think black people are all drug dealers or some shit. You know, I don't really understand it, but I kind of see that it's there. I'm kind of noticing this. It's a little trend here in America that black lives don't mean that much. It really don't mean that much. It doesn't mean that much to many people. And it's kind of depressing because I would like to think we live in a fair country. You know, it's one of the greatest countries in the world. People come here from all around. You know what I mean? But it's looking bad right now because it looks like we can't get along with each other for shit. You know, it's looking bad right now. But other than that, people, I don't really know what to say. This is kind of fucked up. But, yo, let me know what you think. Cameras on cops, people. And I think, yo, this one, it looks like, I can't see how I could not blame the cops. How could I not blame the cops on this one? Fucked up. Later.